I pay Geico $1,446.50 every 6 months for car insurance on my 2023 C8 Z06.
This is legitimately the most expensive car we have ever purchased, which is kind of silly, but at the end of the day, I was like, you have to buy this. It is phenomenal, despite whatever price it might be. I told him, you have to get this. Now, I did want him to get the Stingray to begin with. We looked at a red one. It was really nice. I sat in one of them in Panama City. I thought it was great. But then we went and looked at this, and my whole everything was like, ooh, that's sexy. Babe, I say that like you can hear me. It's got that nice scent to it. So yes, I weirdly, as the wife, wanted her husband to have the sexiest car out there that everybody is going to turn heads to look at, panty dropper, whatever you want to call it. But I like the way it looks. I love the way it sounds. It's extremely comfortable. And he's always wanted a Z06. He used to want a C6 Z06, but a C8 Z06 is even better.
I feel like this is the obligatory coffee run. Taking the Z06 to get coffee.
You can always tell who's who's. Got a little lipstick on it.
All right, we got food too, not just coffee.
We're good on that.
And every day there's different specials. So today's special is bacon, egg and cheese, potatoes, spicy mayo, jalapenos. Breakfast burrito. I think the best part about this place, I mean, there's a lot of great parts about this place, but even though we're not right on the beach, we still get a view of the beach while we're eating. And their rent's cheaper because of it. It's honestly one of our favorite places to grab breakfast, brunch, and a few reasons. Quality, value.
Customer service.
Customer service. I mean, you think about it, it's a great business model. And it entices people to just naturally, organically want to share and say good things about your business. And it's the customer service plays into like the emotion and how you feel.
Yeah.
And so if we were to apply the same thing here, it's like, well, I feel like this car gives extremely great value, extremely great quality, and then the emotional aspect of how it makes you feel. I mean, it just naturally makes people want to say good things about it.
I dare you to sit in this car and not grin like a dumbass the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, this is free marketing, free advertising for GM and their Corvette division. And speaking of value, somebody actually left a comment on a previous video and they said, the car's nice, but you should really put a wing on it. And I feel like this may be my budget value play for, this is the GT3 touring version of the C8 Z06. It's not a regular GT3 or GT3 RS with a giant wing hanging off the back. This is the more adult, sophisticated, mature version. We're coming back to Dick's. We were actually here yesterday? Day before yesterday. And I got these Hoka Auras. I think they're called Auras. And there was a t-shirt in here that I really probably should have bought when we were there. And I've been thinking about it. So now I'm going to get it. I feel like I regret not buying it.
Well, the delay in buying it was a good excuse to drive the car back over here.
True. And just another segue into getting what you want and not holding back. And screw regret.
Hi.
Just buy the damn t-shirt. All right, so I won't be getting the t-shirt because Yeah, the small's not going to work out. Not for me. And I don't think I could pull off a crop top.
Is that?
I don't think I could pull off
I
a
mean,
crop
you
top.
could.
That would actually be kind of funny. Like,
That would be kind of something.
because like people, I guess it's like a little unassuming.
They're all small.
And one of the cool things about that remote start is seeing people's reaction when the Z06 starts and there's nobody there and they're looking around. And I am definitely probably not the one that they would suspect would be the one that's going to get into it. And they probably wouldn't expect me to get out wearing a crop top either. That would really throw them for a loop. We're rolling hard top mode today. I was debating with the wife on whether or not we should take the top off. And my luck, we take the top off and then it decides to actually rain. Even though now it doesn't look like it has any chance of raining. Welcome to my garage. This is where the Z06 lives, spends most of its time, as I haven't driven it in a few days, but I think Michelle and I are going to take it out later today. You would think that this would actually help and increase or improve or decrease, like improve my insurance rate and decrease how much I have to pay Geico, but yeah, I don't think Geico really cares. But what I want to do here is I actually want to run through some of the slides that I have here so I read this information to you guys accurately. These were collected over a few days' time, and what you'll see here are some conflicting numbers. The first set of slides here include the Porsche Macan, the 2018 Porsche Macan. They include the 2024 Ford Expedition and the 2023 Corvette Z06 on the policy. This was, as I was telling you guys, I was trying to refrain from removing the insurance off of the tag of my Porsche Macan while waiting for the paperwork to come in for the Z06, which I will transfer the tag to, not wanting to trigger the DMV and a suspended license. What we ended up doing is, Michelle and I, we ended up going to the DMV and talking to them. I got to tell you guys, Okaloosa tax commissioner, tax collectors, like these people are so nice. They're so nice. And compared to Atlanta and where we used to live, like we literally wait like 5 minutes and it's really nice. But either way, what they did was they ended up marking in the system that the Porsche Macan was sold. Done. I don't have to surrender the tag because I want to keep it and transfer it. But they said if by chance anything were to happen, you have documented proof of these events occurring in the system. Sure enough, that same day they received the paperwork from Porsche Mobile with the information to get the tag and title work done on this car. So I would say pretty soon here, I will no longer have a drive out tag and I will swap my tag over. And there's that. Since we went to the DMV and had that done, I felt confident, comfortable, and they even told me it's okay to take the insurance off the Macan. There's no need to insure a car you no longer have, and it's okay in the system. So what you'll see here is conflicting numbers of a policy that had 3 vehicles in comparison to a policy that only has 2 vehicles. So there's that. And so we'll just run down the numbers here real quick. So we see this is a policy, this is a 6 month policy with Geico, and it was $3,879.24 for the 3 vehicles that I had mentioned before. And at the time, the Corvette Z06 2023 Chevrolet Corvette, which Geico doesn't put Z06 on here. I don't know if they really care. $1,572.30 for 6 month period. You can see $1,000 deductible and roadside and collision and yada, 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 rental reimbursement. The 2018 Porsche Macan was $1,181 for 6 months. So considerable jump in increase to switch or actually add. And that's really strange because at the time there were 3 vehicles on here and you would think that you would get a multi-car discount. You would think that there being 3 cars with 2 drivers would lower the rate, right? Wrong. Or at least I would think that. And so essentially where we were was at $1,572.30 a month for the Z06. It was, I'm sorry, for 6 months. It was $262.05 a month, which I thought it was kind of high. I thought it was kind of high considering my driving history or our driving history and the multiple cars. I thought it was kind of high, okay? Now, this is when I changed the policy, okay? And it's interesting because the Porsche Macan was $1,181 for 6 months. But when I removed it, it actually decreased the premium by $1,382.67. It decreased it by more than what the Macan's policy was charging me. Yeah. And so this changes all the numbers. So now we're at $2,496.57 for 6 months. And the coverages and the deductibles haven't changed. But the Z06 that was $1,572.30 is now $1,446.50. It's cheaper now that we don't have the Macan. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Trying to wrap my mind around it, but I don't do insurance. So this is what Geico's algorithm has decided. I pay Geico $1,446.50 every 6 months for car insurance on my 2023 C8 Z06. It's amazing how much stuff we've accumulated over the years. And these are actually our REI collapsible chairs and our REI table that we were using when we were traveling and we had a Class B Mercedes Sprinter. We still use them. We still have them. And these actually turned into our beach chairs. I was trying to shake off all that sand. But they're super portable and light, which also adds to some of the versatility or, dare I say, practicality of a C8 Corvette. Stingray, Z06, E-Ray, doesn't matter. The storage size is all the same. But is the Z06 really a practical car? Can we say that? I mean, I guess it's all relative, right? Relative in comparison, maybe. And in comparison to, I know this is going to be a hot button, but other supercars, for which I feel like the Z06 should fall into the category of supercar, but we can talk about that on another video. I already know what that's going to do in the comment section. But in comparison to like a McLaren 570, 720, 750, in comparison to a Porsche 911, in comparison to a Lamborghini Huracan, or even an Aventador, it really doesn't matter, or Revuelto or whatever. In comparison to a Ferrari, I'd say it's extremely practical. Asterisks, there's a caveat there. And speaking of practicality, I try to respond to a lot of the comments that you guys have left, and I want to kind of keep this dialogue and discussion going. So bear with me here. One of them is the only thing I dislike about the Z06 is climbing in and out of them. And I think it's funny, the choice of words being climbing, because I consider getting in the Z06 more like falling, and then getting out of the Z06 more like rolling. But either way, Porsche dislikes sound of rain on the roof, but oh my, the Porsche feel like it was carved out of a single steel billet. And ooh, my, the handling. I haven't actually had much of an opportunity to really toss this thing around and really feel, you know, how it handles being where we live now in Florida compared to Georgia. Like Georgia, we had a lot of turns. We had a lot of elevation change in different terrain. We had the ability to hit the mountains in like less than an hour to get to North Georgia. And if we wanted to go to Tail of the Dragon, that wasn't too far away. Here where we live now, we don't really have that. It's super flat. It's super straight, and that's pretty much it. And I guess I probably shouldn't have taken her parking spot from my recording studio here. But I will say that considering we don't have much besides just straight roads, this car, the handling feels great for what it is, but we're not really pushing it. But this car, actually, one of the best things about it is back here. And the sounds that it makes and the ability for you to actually kind of control it with the throttle, and like it's a game changer when all you're doing is pretty much just driving straight. Speaking of handling, I did just realize that these tires are run flats in addition to them being Pilot Sport 4S's. Sorry, I took your spot. But these are 4S's, and you know, I'm not going to run Cup 2s. I'm not going to have any track days, I don't think, in the car. So I think they're adequate for what it is, but they are run flats. And I think that adds to the practicality. So I feel comfortable not having a spare, not having jacks. And so I took out what I had, which was, hopefully this, you guys can see this. You know, I never really wanted to use it, but I had it just in case. And then I had my pump, and I had a plug kit. But from the stories that I've seen and heard and read about online, apparently, you know, completely flat. These run flats, you can actually get a pretty good distance out of them. Here's a little quick garage tour, which is not at all prepped. We moved like 2 months ago, but we're still working on getting everything organized and situated, but we can park 2 cars in here when I'm not stealing her spot from my studio here. And I do want to talk to you guys about the wheels, but I'll save that for another video. Specifically the fact that one of the things that really stood out to me when I was looking over the car and considering buying it, as I'm still learning about it, I did a lot of homework, I did a lot of research and studying on the Stingray, and I kind of bought the Z06 on a whim, and I'm still learning. So one of the things that really stood out to me that I really like, and I want to talk to you guys more about, is that right there. Hopefully it's focused. I'm not really sure. Forged wheels. Game changer, in my opinion, especially coming from a C7, or at least considering buying a C7 and some of the issues that C7s were having with cracking wheels.